All right, and with that, we are ready to get this thing underway. We do have a rollout for our first group, so our juniors have been called for a quick rollout procedure. So all juniors, please check in for rollout on the home straight. Thanks for joining us tonight. This is the official beginnings of the 2019 race season here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome. We have an entire summer ahead of us of some exciting racing, and we kick things off with a weekend where we invite all of our riders to come join us for a Friday and Saturday. Tonight we'll have some mass start events. As you can see before you here, we've got our juniors going to kick it off. We've got Cat 4 men, we got a women's field, we've got Cat 3 men, and our Cat 1-2 men, all sorts of different speeds and distances to ride tonight. We're going to start with a slew of scratch races, a whole series of scratch races to start things off. Once we get through those scratch races, we're going to do everybody's favorite, the Marymore Crawl. And then, of course, we love to do a sort of elimination style race. We've got our winning outs and missing outs, and we're going to end with a points race tonight. So a good program of things ahead of us. Still time to go grab either a burger and some fries, or maybe go join us in the beverage garden if you want to get comfortable and set in for what should be a nice bevy of races to kick off our season. In our first group to getting through their checkout. What's the deal with regular season? We've been racing for the last couple of weeks. Well, those points didn't add up for the season, so now our riders in all of our fields, they have an ongoing series throughout the entire summer. Riders that finish at the top of that are going to be awarded with a monetary prize and, of course, bragging rights at the finality of this season. We're going to bring them up on the podium and celebrate all of their work for the weeks of racing that are about to occur. So the summer series kicking off here in very summery style for the Pacific Northwest. It's good old May weather, of course. You never know what you're going to get, but you know what? Here we are, and we're gonna have a good time, darn it. Our first group just about ready to get started. In their event, the scratch race, on deck will be our Cat 4 men. And our first group now out and starting their neutral lap. These are our young riders, the future of the sport. We actually just celebrated a pretty cool weekend. Just last week we had, in cooperation with USA Cycling, a Junior Nationals Track Cup. We hosted competitors from across the country, including our local competitors, in a series of races to help find, identify, develop, build relations between potential Olympians, national competitors, and of course just really fast kids in our community. So that was pretty cool. That was just a week ago. In part, some of the excitement around that is the return in force of the Jerry Baker junior team. The group that you see out there in the majority of that field in the black and blue. We have a lot of folks being within the banner of the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome now riding in that jersey. It's pretty exciting stuff. And the end of the neutral, the start of the actual race. And off we go. Liquid Velo in the black and green will make the first move in our field. In response mode right off the bat. No time to wait in this 6th lap scratch. The goal of this race is to get to the finish line as fast as you can. That's what the scratch race is all about. That doesn't mean you have to go fast the whole time. You just got to choose your moments. So our initial attack quickly seizing the group all together again through turn 3. And our juniors are going to wait for the next opportunity. You can see the back half of the field having to recover and get back into it. That's kind of the point too. Maybe thin the ranks as we go. Make it a little bit harder for some of these kids. 5 to go for the scratch race. 5 to go. And you can see the group still riding all together for the most part. We got a couple trying to get back into the pace, but nobody really willing to push it too hard. And here we go. It's that black and green of Liquid Velo again. Looking over the right-hand shoulder, trying to see if anybody's following this attack. So a bit of activity at the front of the field. We've got ourselves a bit of a split here, as now there's about 5 or 6 riders, make that almost 7 now, that are trying to push the pace ahead of the rest of the young riders. This is a diverse group in terms of age. So some of our experienced riders trying to push this thing a little bit. Looking at 3 to go. Getting some encouragement over in turn 1 by the Pied Broadmark management sign as our riders come underneath there. And again, you can see things starting to spread out a little bit as our front group organizing themselves, doing a good job trying to rotate and take turns. It'll be a little less work if I don't have to sprint against every single kid that started in this large junior field. So let's narrow down the group just a bit. Getting down to it. 2 to go. The pink handlebars swing up to the right. Two to go for our chasing group here, led up by Cooper Bunn for the Jerry Baker Jr. team. Two to go. The hardest ride in the field is when you're riding alone. Nice job keeping it up. Our lead group is now in turn 3, and they will be getting the bell this lap, so we're about ready to close down this scratch race. Everyone looking around, waiting for the next jump. Here we go. It's 1 to go. 1 to go for the young riders on the track right now. 1 to go. Looks like JC Pyle, the one that's going to take the lead position right now at the very front of the group. 1 to go for our chasing group of 3. 1 to go. 1 to go. The bell's going to be ringing for a while. Big sprint down the back straight. We see an attack from JC off the front. He's forcing Jurassic to make a move himself. It's Team Liquid Velo with a big acceleration out of the turn. Here they come, a 2-up sprint. Good acceleration from Liquid Velo, carrying themselves to the line. Whoa! The 400-meter effort from JC almost holding off, very close for 3rd place even, as that sprint between him and the black and green was very close. Couple more athletes here, and they're sprinting for it. Looks like Caleb's coming in the front position out of the turn with a nice attack. And a good effort all the way to the end, as these 3 will make it a race until it's over. Here we go, folks. Put your hands together. A few more juniors to encourage over the line. Nice work tonight. Nicely done. Cat 4 men, it is time to check in for your rollout procedure. Cat 4 men competitors, your field checks in for rollout. That's right, we got young riders out here. We got them in numbers now. I tell you what, our team has grown exponentially in size the last couple of years, but we're not the only team out there. You don't have to join Jerry Baker Juniors if you're a kid to be out here on the track. You just need to come and do one of our junior camps. Check out what we got going on. The programs that we offer, you can sign up for online at our website. The home of everything Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome is velodrome.org. You can see our calendar of events, all clinics and classes that we offer, which include startup classes for new riders, whether adult or junior. We've got clinics for current riders to come and check out. We had a Madison clinic just this past weekend, actually, as an example of that. So there's opportunities to register for some ongoing education for our current riders. And, of course, you can also get all the nitty-gritty, like our race book, our fees, how to sign up and volunteer, all that great stuff. Velodrome.org. The live stream's been going for a little bit. If you find yourself not being too engaged at this very second in between our races as you wait for rollout to finish, what a great time to just give us the benefit of the doubt. Give us the thumbs up, give us the follow, give us the like. Even if you don't know if it's good stuff on the stream, just do it and help us out. We need people to know that great racing is happening here in the Pacific Northwest. And we want lots of people to see this and come check us out and get excited about racing again here in Redmond. So let folks know that we're streaming online and they can watch from their comfort of their homes, wherever they are. If they're traveling out and about, they can support family and friends by tuning in to our live streaming services now. I guess the other way you could look at it is as an excuse to stay home. Tell them it's better live. That's my other reminder. It's always better here. So our next group coming up here, our Cat 4 men. They're about ready to start their scratch race. On deck is the women's field. The women's field is on deck for their scratch race. Another good-sized field, our Cat 4 men's field. There are some young riders in there, too, old enough to compete in the group. Once you become a Cat 4 competitor, once we're talking about categories, if you're not familiar with the terminology, that's referring to designations for riders as they earn points to upgrade into faster and more experienced categories. So Cat 4 is kind of the first real tier of riding around the track. And on most racing venues, we consider Cat 5 kind of the entry point. That's generally our beginners that do our beginning racing on Thursday nights here at the track. Once they upgrade out of that program, they're Cat 4s. They join us in this field just to get a sense of what's going on with these guys. They're going to be coming through their neutral lap. The start of the race is always signaled by the whistle or the gun on some nights. Looks like we're going to give them one more go around. We're taking a look at rider with a slight mechanical issue or something along the sorts. They're still in the neutral, so we can maybe get this thing going. Our Twitter account at JB Velodrome is a really good place to follow in case you want to know about, weather updates for this weekend. As our race director, our program director, will upload any updates to our Twitter account the second that any decisions have been made. You can also find our Facebook page, the Velodrome Fan Zone, by searching for that on the Facebook platform. Give us a thumbs up and you'll get notifications from there as well. Trying to get this neutral situation sorted out. We're making sure we got time for our rider to fix an issue, get back out there and join the fun, as we want to give everybody a fair start, and he's starting to accelerate to get up there just now. Might be able to get him started in the home straight. We'll see. It's a bit of an adrenaline boost. Off we go. Cat 4 men, their first race here on the Friday night program, and off we go. 10 laps, scratch racing. Same thing as we mentioned before. First rider across the line is the winner. Lots of ways to get there. The first lap is an okay opportunity to try to establish some tempo here, get some speed going. As we'll see the group getting excited as the bell or the whistle is sounded for that first lap. Good acceleration carrying him out of corner 4. Everybody's looking around now. A slight moment of hesitation as they see 9 to go. Peter Gilchrist rides across the finish line at the front of the pack and pulls up to the right. Lots of rotation at the front. No one wanting to do too much work early on in the race. Just everybody's getting warmed up, getting a sense of where everybody is in this field. So a lot of shifting and changing of position at the front. When you see a lot of change here, you know that folks are trying to settle into where do they want to be in this field early on. They know that the finish is a ways out. In fact, it's roughly 2 miles away if you want to know translation of distance to laps here. It's just like your high school track, 400 meters around. So at 8 to go, a pretty decent clip to start things off, but nobody's trying to go off the front just yet. Seeing 7 to go. Dennis Koda doing some work on that lap, pulls up to the right, has lots of riders still following him as he's now pretty high, looking for somebody else to take the lead. There is a fair amount of effort that's put out at the front of the field compared to being anywhere else in it, especially if you can get into that main body of the pack in the back area there. You're going to get a lot of protection from that headwind or any of the elements that you're trying to ride through. So riders trying to find their way into the group to not put out too much work early on. Bike racing's about your timings. You got to know exactly when and where you want your efforts to be. What kind of effort do you want to put out there? Is it consistent, or are you trying to put out a big burst of speed? What's your best way to win a race? And with scratch racing, it's really kind of however you want to do it. Lots of changing of the lead early on. Still nothing big. We see a nice long distance attack here, rolling up from the back of the group in turn 2. At 5 to go, this is an aggressive maneuver. Talking about seeing an opportunity and trying to take it. Artem Schmidt thinks he's got the speed to roll away from the field. And you can see the spin there, just trying to move himself away from the group, force a reaction. Getting into a pretty compact position, leaning over the front of those handlebars as he's getting a lot of power trying to get that spin rolled up and move away from the group. Schmidt still on the move at 4 to go. Not joined by anybody yet, a solo maneuver at this point. Opening up a bit of a gap here, but the field within reach. Getting down to the final couple laps, and this attack by Schmidt still holding on, still holding true. Time is of the essence here. Can't take it back now with 3 to go. Our Cat 4 field is not satisfied and sitting back on this one. They're trying to chase down first place. But the gap has sort of opened here a little bit over the last lap and a half or so. And as the gap has widened, the job of the track of the group is getting harder on this track to try to catch back up to where our lead rider is. Seeing 2 to go, 2 to go. The solo effort here at halfway point, paying off big. Schmidt still with a big gap, and it's growing. 2 to go, 2 to go. A chase for first might just turn up into a setup for a sprint for second as a group of 3 snapping themselves away now from the main field. So first we'll see her coming through the turn. At the lead of the race is the rider in blue with the white helmet. That's going to be Schmidt getting the bell. 1 to go. 1 to go in a great position. He's done nothing but gain ground on the rest of this field. Here comes our chase. The next closest rider is trying to pop off the front of this field. It's Aiden McClinton in the white and red, trying to bring that group up there. What now really looks like a sprint for second as McClinton takes off the front. 1 to go, 1 to go. And Schmidt, our rider coming out onto the home straight, cleaning house after that 5th lap, will take it. The sprint out of the field is McClinton's trying to take a 400-meter effort, and it looks like he's on his way for a second-place finish. And we've got a sprint with Liquid Velo, one of our juniors trying to take it. As it'll be Isaac Jurassic, I think, unofficially, with a stylish bike toss there at the very end. That little throw for a 3rd place. Nicely done on our first race for the Cat 4 men. Still a rider on track. As a reminder, we will exit on the back straight at our track on the lap that you're finished. If you're caught, of course, you are on the same lap as the leaders. You'll exit on the back straight immediately after your race is finished. We'll get better at it. That's something we work on. Hey, a little father-son recognition there. I see that. Women competitors are invited to the rail. The women riders coming on down. We've got ourselves our women's field competing in a 10-lap version of the scratch race. On deck, Cat 3 men. On deck, the Cat 3 men. Off on the neutral lap, it's another scratch race. This for our women's field. We're combining our categories together at the early part of our season. If you're an adult looking to get into this sport, we have track classes for you as well. We're always looking for new folks to try out this sport. Come and take one of our adult classes. It's a low barrier of entry, really. It's one registration you do online for a 4-hour class, Saturdays and Sundays throughout the summer. Find the one that works best for you. Come in from roughly noon to 4 o'clock. Our staff will meet you. They'll get you hooked up with one of our own rental bikes, which is already included in that fee for signing up for the class. Bring your helmet and your pedals and shoes if you got those ready to go. Otherwise, we'll get you hooked up. And you too can learn how to ride on our track. In a matter of 4 hours, you'll be ready to start racing in a real field. Sign up for classes online at, you guessed it, velodrome.org. Sound of the whistle, and the group has started. Next time around, we'll start seeing the lap card numbers work their way down. Good time to go over to our table and pick up the newest version of this is my fastest shirt. You're not going to want to miss the cool new design that we got done this year. The shirt's sold out. The design that we had done a couple of years ago. You will be able to buy them here on site for the next several weeks. We'll also be looking into putting them for sale online later. Currently available right here at the Velodrome. You can go behind the grandstands at the table set up there. And Anna will get you hooked up. She's got capacity to take cash or card today. Vision's still hanging out with us. They were doing a pretty cool sale with us last weekend. If you tuned in for the stream or came and saw that, you noticed they had some great gear on display. All of their amazing carbon gear, whether you're looking for a new set of aero bars or maybe some cranks, a nice new tri-spoke. You know you want one. Well, Vision's here selling all that good stuff, and here's the cool thing about it. This is some unique stock for their product. They're coming out here and giving all proceeds, all of the income, every last dime is coming back right into our junior program here at the track. So it's basically a donation, but you also get some amazing gear out of it. So come say hi to Vision, one of our fantastic sponsors, and our sponsor for the 2019 Grand Prix. Ask them about their cool products, see what they got in store for you here. Maybe ask some questions about what you could use from that Vision's got that would help you improve your times, make your ride more comfortable, and get your bike in better shape. That's all the cool stuff that Vision can help you with. Again, come check out their tent. They're right behind the grandstands here on the home straight. Our group seeing 7 to go. 7 to go. The field in a good conservative position right now, taking turns at the front, rotating through, and working on getting the lap cards down to a more reasonable number. This is the fastest formation a group can really be in. It's just in a single file, rotating at the front. Bryn Ward, single malt velo, looks like, coming up to the front of the group. Pulls off to the right-hand side and gives room for another rider to come through. As liquid velo rider Emily Alexander will do that. Our field of 8, so a smaller group tonight for our women's field, but we've got lots of competitors that we know will start showing up as the season goes on. Again, this is an open field, so we've got any and all women signing up tonight, competing here all in one group. Seeing 5 to go. 5 to go. It's Daniel Hammer at the front. The dark blue jersey with those pink shoulders, leading the pack through on the finish line and leading them through a pretty long pull here. She's doing some work to see what she can do to this group. Four to go. Everett's for the Griggs. Trek team will pull up to the right-hand side, making room for a teammate. Carol also in the Griggs Trek kit, the blue one that's at the front there with those neon arms. Kira Lewis in that blue kit at the front center cycles will take a right-hand turn also and leave some room open, but as she does so, the field has lost a little bit of motivation. It'll be Hammer that moves back to the front. As Hammer dives down into that sprinter's lane, it's Emily Alexander that's going to get out of the saddle a little bit and try to use the banking of turn 2 to really ramp things up. So our group of 8 now starting to look like they're getting set up for a finish. They know it's 2 to go, so it's getting down to it. Alexander at the front at 2 to go, gritting the teeth and trying to get some speed here. Kira Lewis now takes the front position, the rider in the blue. On her wheel, Bryn Ward, Annette Williams, all looking like they want to stay near the front of this thing as it's coming together. Our riders that dangled for just a moment are repositioning themselves and now getting ready for what will be the bell lap. We see a couple of riders repositioned from the back of the field all the way up, trying to get to the front of this thing. Coming out of the turn, it'll be Kira Lewis on the lead of it. Lewis gets the bell. It's 1 to go. Lewis, Ward, Williams, Edwards coming across the line. The rest of the group in the chase is Zeta trying to get back up there as well. Diane Zeta, the next closest rider to the lead 4. It's now Lewis still taking us through at the front of this thing for quite some time as she's setting up another rider. We're going to see as they come down the back straight, it's going to be Annette Williams up and out of the saddle with a big explosion of speed. Ward and Edwards now flying through turns 3 and 4 trying to challenge, but it's still Williams on the very front of the field, and out of the turn they come. It's Annette Williams looking around saying, where are you? She'll take it. Good sprint here for second place. It looks like Edwards will take it over Ward, and Lewis will still find a top 4 finish as she led through the bell lap. We'll still get a nice top place in this one. And there you go. And we are ready for our next group. It's Cat 3 men. To the rail, please. Cat 3 competitors, please. Cat 3 men to the rail. This is our 12-lap scratch race event for the Cat 3 men. We got one more scratch race to go, and then we're going to hit ourselves with a fun Marymore crawl.
It's the most tremendous new music.
Cat 3 men to the rail for our 12-lap scratch. And the whistle lets them know now is the neutral. Next whistle we hear will be the start. Cat 3 men. So 12 laps this time, a little bit longer race. This field usually a little bit more well represented. Again, we've got a long season ahead of us and not the best of weather this first weekend, but that's all right. We're still here enjoying ourselves. Ten competitors start in the field for this 12-lap scratch. On deck, Cat 1-2 men for their scratch race. Cat 1-2s are on deck for the scratch race following this race. They got the whistle coming out of turn 4. They are underway. 12 to go. First lap riders kind of getting a sense of things here, taking just a moment to figure out where they're going to be. Now we're in single file formation at a pretty moderate tempo. Eleven to go. Snowblin in that dark black kit will pull up out of the right side and give room at the front. A bit of a bullseye on his head. He's got that bright orange helmet. It's now Rackness at the front, leading the screen through. Another rider for the junior squad. Moves to the right. Again, a fairly moderate tempo here. We're getting up to a speed and then kind of backing off of it again. So riders anxious but not willing to do the work too early. As now it'll be Snowblin that'll try to re-engage things again. That's the rider in that dark kit, but he's got the orange frame underneath him. Coming into 9 to go, it's Snowblin that leads the group, and they've got themselves strung out here. Alex Siegel, right on his wheel, will not engage at the front. He'll disengage as the opportunity becomes available for him. The group only partially settling in here. Everybody waiting above the blue line, waiting to see who's going to come up to the front and if they're going to do anything with that positioning. It's going to be Darlene, Center Cycles competitor in the blue, sitting at 8 to go. That just carries himself up there. Not doing a lot with that position just yet. Again, going to settle off and kind of be neutral with it. Now seeing 7, Carson Hedrick will be the rider to be at the front. So riders as they come to the front are trying to decide if it's time to do something or not. And for the most part, riders are pretty content pulling away and letting the thing kind of reset itself. Snowblin, having been done a little bit of work in this race already, doesn't want to do too much more. He gets things rolling again and then pulls up to the right to see if anybody else is excited just yet. At 6 to go, nothing happened in the field. Still a lot of patience as we're getting closer to it. John Bowie looking around, trying to see what's happening behind him. Now Hedrick finds himself in the same positioning as he sneaks away from the group. Maybe trying to instigate something. Stone O'Brien will respond for Agencia Racing, as well as Kaiser for the Junior Baker team. That's the rider with that blue helmet coming through the turn now near the front. O'Brien now leading the pack at 5 to go. This is setting up for what could be one of two scenarios. In the next couple laps, some of our more endurance favored riders are going to have to launch something pretty big and significant and hope that nobody else can hold on, something like we saw in our Cat 4 race, or it's going to be a bit of a pack sprint as we get down to the end of it. Now looking at Henry Kaiser shooting off an attack here, coming out of the main field. One of our junior riders not feeling comfortable in the middle of the field. It's going a little slow for my tastes. Kaiser on the move at 4 to go. Now looking over his shoulder, trying to see if he started anything. So far, not much of a fire starter as the group's just now ramping it up, but they're not ready to let Henry go. In fact, it'll be Rackness and Carson Hedrick that work together to start really picking up the speed of this group. Kaiser knows it. He pulls up to the right and gets ready to be pulled back into this field. The speed is up now. He has really gotten this thing up to speed quickly. 3 to go. Snowblin now at the front. Still plenty of time to reset it if they want to, or we'll see if some of these riders are going to just keep pushing it as Darlene now gets to the front. For Center Cycles, again, that blue competitor, he's been there a few times, hasn't tried to pull the group too long. Trying to save it. He knows that there's not very many places to hide in this small group of riders. He's going to try, though. We're coming into it. Only 2 remaining as the field will now be on the home straight. Bowie looking around. Nothing doing over the right side. He'll pull up and wait for something else underneath. So a pack sprint likely. Our group going to be going head-to-head here in the final lap. A top speed finish as our riders that have made it to this point have survived from being peeled off from some of those moderate attacks, those intermediate sprints that have happened. We've got Kevin Stone O'Brien at the front, Snowblin right behind him, trying to find a window to move. Carson Hedrick is there. And as the bell's ringing, right along the blue line, it'll be Snowblin that's taking the pace. Trying to make sure he's got room on the left, and he does. He'll start to slot himself down there as Snowblin leading down the back straight. But look out, we got one of the young riders trying to position himself, and he's got a good line here. So does Bowie. Big attack coming through the back straight and onto that turn, coming through turn 3 and 4. 2 riders near side by side. Bowie coming out of the turn with a good turn to speed in the black and the green. Right down the middle of the track, it'll be Bowie. Rackness coming out of the field with a good attack. Will pick up second place, and in between Siegel and Darlene for third. It's a close call. I think it might have been on the inside to Siegel for third. Unofficially, of course. We'll confirm those results from the infield later. And it looks like our track will be just fine and ready to go. Let's bring out our next field. It's the Cat 1-2 men to the rail, please. Cat 1-2 men to the rail, please. Okay, where is he? Oh, I see him now. Been our super volunteer for the last couple weeks, so I wanted to say thanks to Kenny already, but I also got to say it's a birthday boys race here. Kenny, how old are you now? Like 37, 38? Is that about right, Kenny? 30, 35, I don't even know. Okay, there we go. So look out, we've got a big field here for a 15-lap scratch. Our Cat 1-2 has shown up in good quantities tonight. I'm about to give a final count here from where I'm at. Hold on one sec. 21 starting in the group. So a good-sized field in this beginning of the season. It's a good sign for 2019. We hope that our racer numbers stay here or only go up, of course, as we'll see some riders being upgrading through the season, others showing up for track classes to add to our numbers in the Cat 4s. We've got some folks that couldn't make it this weekend or maybe didn't want to brave the potential for rain because we can't race when it's raining, of course, so that might have been part of the story as well. There's the whistle, and the race is underway. 15 to go in a scratch race with the Cat 1-2 men. Mr. Baker, number 99, choosing that number, will come rolling to the front to get things started. His favorite lap, the first. It only gets harder from there. Everyone trying to find their spot. The front looking like they've got a bit of an organized line. 2 lines coming cruising through at 14 remaining. Gonna keep things moving at the front of the field. They're excited to be here for regular season racing. So trying their turns at the front at 13 to go. Blyfoos will find himself there, leaving room now for Nick Martinez, who will move out of the way for, looks like Richter going to be coming up into place. Also not wanting to be there too long, so our riders quickly slotting out of the way. Seeing who's ready to do some work for some laps here. 21 starters, man, you know you want to do some work early, maybe size down the field a little bit before the big finish in this scratch race. Effort being spent at the front early on. Riders looking around, trying to make sure, are we staying together? Looks like the field all in one still. Leigh Thurgood, the rider in that all black jersey, pulls up to the right. So what's going on with all these teams? We do have sponsored teams out here at the track for our local competitors to join up with. Sponsorship works a little differently down here. Our riders get together, they pool their money and their resources. They find local companies that are willing to give them some help and some sponsorship, put their names on the jerseys. They coordinate their rides together, you know, make sure that they get the best opportunity to help one another out. And then they form some of these teams that you see before you. So some of these sponsors we have around the track, you'll see those names on the backs of some of these jerseys. You've got other supporters in our community that step up to help support racing. It's not required to participate to have a team, but it's certainly something that a lot of our riders elect to do to help build community and competition and just all sorts of great things about the sub-communities that we have in our teams. One of those teams that shows up weekly, Pyatt Broadmark, an annual partner of the track, stepping up in big ways, leading things around the track. Anytime you see the black, yellow, and gray jersey, that's that Pyatt Broadmark team. Nobody off the front, nobody off the back. So the group staying all together, but it's pretty strung out as the tempo's been consistently, I would say, high. Not at its highest clip, but high enough that riders are trying to find a place to hide in the lineup. Nobody wants to waste effort out on their own. At 9 to go, this is anybody's race. Look for riders that choose to stay at the front a little longer and riders that immediately peel off. Riders wanting to stay at the front, they know the work they're doing is making it hard on other competitors. Riders that peel off immediately, they know they've got the fast finish. They're trying to save it. They're trying to make sure they got what it takes at the right moment. Not to do too much work at the wrong time. And as long as someone else will do it, why should I? You know, it's part of that thought process our competitors go through. As Christian Miller in that all black will pull up to the right-hand side. Brett Walker in the red of Audi Racing with the white helmet. An organization with a fairly large road presence in the road cycling community. Showing up here with Brett Walker now pulling up to the right-hand side and looking for someone underneath. Group still clipping along at 7 to go. Practically all strung out, single file. Now seeing 6 to go. Miller gets back on the front. And you can start to see as riders get to the front now, there's enough effort been spent that the front of the field is starting to create small windows between them and riders behind them. So far, none of these have turned into anything as the effort being put out at the front is not enough to separate themselves from the whole field. Five to go, and a group of 4 has a bit of a gap here. They've seen that they've got some space, but if they don't act quickly, a fairly large size of the group will be able to respond. And just like that, we're practically all connected together again here as a couple of riders are trying to work their way back onto the back end of the group. Into the final mile, no breakaways really succeeded. No attacks have stuck off the front. Either the group as a whole will need to slow down to leave that opportunity, that window open, or a much bigger effort's going to have to come from the front if someone's going to want to snap away with only 3.5 laps left on the race. And I doubt that that opportunity really is there anymore if the clip of this group right now holds. Yeah, and just like that, the speed is going to go away as the group pulls up to the right. This is exactly that window we're talking about if a rider wants to try to take it. This is what we're looking for. And at 3 to go, one will take the bait as Steve Wilsons loves to do work off the front. Let's go. Wilsons makes a big move, doesn't even hesitate as the group pulls up above the blue line. He will himself make an attack here. He's now got himself a good 50 meters on the field. One rider in the chase. The leader of this group is just now exiting turn 4, coming onto the home straight. Wilson's looking around, thinking, I got this. 2 to go. Can I hold on? For 2 to go. Little Max for Hoggins Berman thought to chase. He's looking for reinforcements now as he wasn't quite able to grab on to the big move by Wilsons. Since last I saw him across the track, he's opened up a little bit more distance on this field. It's a little over 50 meters, and he's still looking like he's got more power to give. Will the move pay off? Here comes Wilsons at 1 to go. This scratch race about to wrap it up at 1 to go, up and out of the saddle. Looking like he's got enough here. The pack wants to change it up, though. Richter off like a rocket, trying to lead this thing down the back straight. Look at him carry the whole field with him. He's bringing with him a couple of fast finishers. Look out for Andy Baker, Kenny Williams, Andrew Carlberg. Oh, no. Coming out of the turn. Is this enough? Carlberg's going to try to get himself up there. Steve Wilsons. Can he hold on? Oh, coming through the turn. Wilson's got a big lead. I don't think you can catch him, Carlberg. Oh, Wilsons. Woo. A lot of speed from the competitor from Pyatt Broadmark. It'll be enough to get the second place finish out of the big pack. Steve Wilsons timed it so well. The moment the pack gave it to him, he took it and never gave up on that lead. He just says, now's my chance. I got to go. And he made it happen. So a great race there for our Cat 1-2 men as they'll exit on the back straight. Whew. Next up, we've got ourselves the Marymore Crawl. Top 3 in this competition will be earning themselves some cash. We got $15 to win the race all on its own, so 15 to win, 10 for second, and 5 for third. A little extra cash incentive for the top 3. Again, this is an open competition, so anyone and everyone that showed up tonight is eligible. How do you sign up? Well, when we are ready to go, we're going to call you up to turn 4 along the rail, and that's how you jump into the race. So if you'd like to try the slowest lap in track racing, we're just about ready to get started. Good time in the interim here. And just as I was about to go in another direction, it is time to go ahead and call competitors that would like to compete in the Marymore Crawl to turn 4. Please head up to turn 4, all crawl participants. Crawl participants up to corner 4. So how does this thing go? All of our competitors coming out to the rail to get started here are going to get a signal from the officials to start. At that moment, the timer will start counting down, and they have no idea how long it's going to go for. During that secret time that we won't let them know about, in fact, only one person really knows, and that's the bell ringer. During that time, before the bell rings, they are stuck on the bike and behind the finish line. They cannot touch their feet down to the ground. They can't lean on anybody else. They can't use anything else to keep them upright, and they can't leave the race surface either. As long as they're behind the finish line, they are still in the race. Once the bell rings, off they go for a one-lapper. That one lap race, top 3 get cash. So do the kids that are rushing out along the rail to pick up some extra cash incentive. Like, oh man. Carlberg wants to go down low for a little extra cash too here. The slowest lap in track racing, as a lot of our riders are going to be forced here for quite some time to pull off the track stand. A lot of riders still back here, taking their time and no rush. It's the riders picking up some cash close to the finish line that are soaring along. My pleasure, Mr. Carlberg. My pleasure. You can see a couple of riders coming up to the vision sign here, getting awfully close and exiting the track just like that. Looks like Cooper's getting awfully close himself and will run out of space and time to stay on the track. So how do you stay out here? What's the trick? Well, we got our fixed gears. The bikes only will spin if we let them. If we keep back pressure on the pedals, we can kind of keep this stand still, as everyone in the community calls, a track stand, for as long as we need to, but it obviously costs musculature to keep that position for any length of time. So effort being spent here to stay upright. And it looks like Gilchrist getting a little close to the line here, thinking about trying to stick to it. Oh, that's not Peter. Wrong one. A couple more coming up to vision. Trying to stay in it. St. Caleb's fighting for it. James Shimada for corner 4. Dancing on the pedals, trying to hold on. He will exit as well. How many we got left here? I see a couple of juniors getting themselves out quickly. I see Baker getting real close to the line, but still in a good spot. A couple of juniors back here as I got a group of about 4 Jerry Baker riders. It looks like not many of our adult riders made it to this point. I also see Walker back there for Audi, just holding a perfect position. Getting ready for the bell to ring, but no sign of it yet. Oh, man. Walker's still taking a little extra cash motivation, gets a little closer. When will the bell ring? Man. Ken over here on the bells. He's got all the power, and nobody else knows when it's going to happen here. Lap car showing 1 to go. Oh, Brett Walker. Last minute gets pulled out of there as he couldn't quite hold on. Oh, Baker. What do we got left, kids? Oh, man. The juniors. The juniors are the pride. This is like their pride and joy. They like own this race. Get out of here, adults. We got this. So who do we got here at the front? Looks like we got Pyle. Going to go with the lap. 1 to go. Spranger down there. Jurassic coming into the picture as well. Down the back straight, it's J.C. Pyle with the neon helmet leading things out. Nice big move. He had the right position as the bell was ringing, but here comes Jurassic with a nice second wind effort himself. And Liquid Velo trying to take this thing home. $15 richer and a win in the crawl. The juniors made it all the way. Look at this. Oh! Gilchrist with a nice acceleration to the line. I called him out earlier by mistake, as Peter survives to the end and will sprint for second. Jurassic taking in the top dollar, and I think it was JC holding on for $5 and third in the crawl. Catch your breath quick, juniors. You're up next for your Belgian win and out. Juniors come right up to the rail. It's time for the Belgian win and out. We will make sure to explain those rules to both our riders, our officials, to make sure the rules are pretty clear, and then we'll also let you know, our viewers and our fans here, what's going on with the Belgian win and out. How does this thing work? I'll make sure you get all that information as they're on the neutral lap. On deck is the Cat 4 men. Cat 4 men are the next field up. So if you're earshot of our officials team, you might have heard the rundown on the race. Essentially, it's going to happen on the Belgian win and out. Most win and outs, if it doesn't have the Belgian part in there, means that the first bell is for the winner. Well, in the Belgian win and out, it's the first bell is for 4th place, and that happens really fast. In fact, in this case, we're going to ring a bell at 7 to go. On the next lap, the first rider across the line gets 4th place. Then they exit the race early. The next bell happens 2 laps later. So at 5 to go, that's for 3rd place. The next bell will happen 2 laps later for 2nd. And finally, at 1 to go, we'll figure out who's 1st and who's 5th, as well as everybody else's placings underneath that. So a little bit of an interesting strategy. It puts a really weird twist on the win and out in that you have to continue to stay in the race if you want to get higher places. But it can be really smart if you don't think you've got what it takes to get that first place finish to go for one of those earlier sprints. It's a tough one to time. And a tough test for the young riders. How are they going to play it out? Juniors all in the neutral right now as they come out of turn 4. We'll get them started with the sound of a whistle, and we'll see how they pull this thing off. Looking very interesting with this group to see how they decide to race the Belgian win and out. A bell next time will be for 4th place, juniors. Next time around, a bell's for 4th place. If you're coming in just to check out racing tonight, you just happen to be in the park, heard that there's some crazy guy on a microphone talking about something that you didn't understand, you wanted to see what it was, well, here we are. This is the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome. We've been operating in this same space under an older name previously. We renamed ourselves just a number of years ago. We've been here since 1975, hanging out basically every Friday night, as Friday Night Racing has been a long-standing program for us here at the track. We go throughout the summer months, starting with our preseason in the month of May and going all up the way to September. You can come check out racing on a weekly basis at 7 o'clock as long as it's not raining. We're here. Bell's ringing, 7 to go, 7 to go. What's that mean? The first rider next time is 4th place. Here's another small benefit. If you get 4th, you get a longer break. Get off the track and rest it up. So the sprint is on down the back straight. Most of the riders willing to do a fair amount of work here. They certainly don't want to be left behind. Here we go. This is just only one rider gets the reward here. The bell is for 4th place only coming out of the turn. Great turn of speed as the blue helmet's got the head down, trying to get as much speed as possible. No one catch as it looks to be Danielle Scoville out and away. Knocking out of the park. That's good for 4th. So Danielle will sit up high, let the field go underneath. Perfectly done. Once she sees that it's clear, down to her left, she'll try to get off the track. Next bell will be for 3rd place.
Let's go now.
If you're feeling hungry, we got Jessica's Unique Bites hanging out with us tonight. The food truck serving some burgers and fries, the best out of a food truck you'll find on the coast. Bell's ringing. Time to go. This time for 3rd place. Lucy Gilchrist has got something for everybody on this lap. Holy moly. She saw everybody hesitate and she said, I'm going. The pink handlebars lighten things up as she is on a big attack here. And just all out on her own. Really well done. I think the juniors have figured it out. They're like, oh man, we were not ready for this. So Gilchrist rolling through the turn at the front, playing it smart. Getting some help from the home crowd. Yeah, she's got it. She knows it. Good ride. third place, and she'll get off the track when she thinks she can here. Because hopefully the pack will come underneath her. Next time around, another bell. That one will be for second. That's right. It just keeps getting better as we go. The lead of the race currently in the back half of the track, right in the middle between turn 3 and 4, as 4 riders swing up to the high part. Those are our lead riders currently looking around, trying to see what's going to happen next. The bell is ringing for second place. Joe Spranger will accelerate. JC Piles got his number. He's trying to hold on to him here as he accelerates through turn 1. This is second place next time around. The leader of the race will be done a little early and get second. Joe Spranger still at the lead. Down the back straight, he's got Pyle with him. Pyle is just holding on to his wheel, trying to play it until the moment he thinks he can sprint around him. And Spranger's not trying to let him bully him out of this race. Spranger's got a good sprint here. Looks like he's coming out in the lead despite that attempt to attack around the outside. Spranger holds on for second. JC's like, I thought I had him, man. I thought I had him. He'll have to reset and hope for the first place finish now. Spranger will be on his way out. Very smart by Isaac Drasik, seeing that his opponent, looking a little bit gassed after that work, will now swing down and take the lead. 2 to go for our chasing group here of about 5 juniors. Remember, our juniors group is a couple of different age groups in here. It's not a totally apples to apples competition. So some of our younger riders joining in here. They've got a year and size disadvantage, so they're racing against each other. We got our older riders here at the front getting a lot of my attention, a lot of our attention. I get it. 1 to go for the leaders as they come through. It's 1 to go for the leaders. 1 to go for the leaders. And they are hesitating a long time here. Those 3 at the front looking at each other just at the Pyatt Broadmark sign. That's the lead of the race. Bell's ringing for our chasers, too. It's 1 to go, 1st and 5th on the lap. Look at how much they're hesitating up there. Greg's cycle sign is where the lead is now, coming out of turn 2. The Greg cycle corner, usually where riders decide it's time to go fast on our track, because that's going to be the perfect place to set up for that final 200-meter sprint. And here they come. It's now JC at the front. He's got Isaac Drasik on his wheel. Big efforts from these guys in the Marymore Crawl not too long ago. It's now Pyle at the front. Drasik trying to get that second attack. Oh, man. Isaac's got just enough muscle there to take it by just about 1 bike length at the end of it. Keep your hands going together here. Make some noise for our juniors. Look at this sprint. Caleb's going to be challenged in the line. Cooper not quite getting there. Good sprint from those 2. And everybody doing a great job tonight on our Belgian win and out. Making sure that our juniors have made their way safely off the track. We are almost ready to call up our next group. All right. Looking like we got our riders exiting. Cat 4 men to the rail, please. Cat 4 men to the rail. On deck, we have the women's field on deck. Currently, Cat 4 men in the missing out coming up to the track. The Cat 4 men for the missing out coming up. Sorry, winning out. The other one. On deck is the women's field. So the Belgian win out we did a moment ago, the first bell was for fourth, and we worked our way towards first. Now in the win and out, we start with the first place and work our way down towards fourth. So that's just in reverse order from one another. The win and out here, this is a 12-lap race tonight, so we're going to do 4 different sprints here, different bells, 3 laps apart. So the first bell will be at 10 to go, second bell will be at 7 to go, third will be at 4th to go, and the final bell will be at 1 to go. And that's also the order at which the placings will be determined. So first bell's for first, second bell's for second, and so on. Once again, the rider is going to be trying to time their efforts just right. The question is when do you think you can get the best possible finish? Everyone's their freshest in the win and out on the first sprint. That is a big risk to take. Going for that first position in that very first sprint can be a big gamble. But the big payout, of course, besides the win, is you get to skip out on the other 9 laps of efforts that the other riders are pulling in here. So $12 to go. The bell to start off the first place sprint will happen at 10 to go. A couple laps out still. So if there's anybody out there either watching the stream or here in person that has any skill sets in helping us out, maybe with making an introduction movie, perhaps a song for bringing us in on the opening of our stream, or has any other skill sets that might want to jump in and help us with upping our game, whether that's in scripting or coding, to help us do some of our work behind the scenes and showing results and all those kinds of cool bits of information. We'd love to partner with people in our community if they have those skill sets and would like to offer them. You can come talk to one of our staff if you have any interest in doing that, or if you're more prone to communicating online, you can always check out the website and find contacts there for all of our staff and members of the board. We are looking to expand and improve our services all the time. 10 to go. Next time, the winner of the race will be found. Will Teal in that dark green kit had been waiting for some place to make a move. As the bell's ringing, he kind of weaves in and out and explodes off the front. Can he hold on? He's in a good spot to do it. This is to win the race. Will Teal. Looks like he'll find enough. What an effort coming out of the field. Really wasn't challenged. There was a couple of competitors that thought they might be able to catch on, didn't have the time or the speed to get there. Next bell, another lap from now, and that's for second place. Catching our breath, getting some oxygen back in our system, getting ready for the next sprint. It's a good-sized group. A lot of riders showing up tonight. A rider not finding the space to exit, Will Teal, will do so this time around, and we're one rider down. The women's missing out is on deck. Our next group getting ready. Cat 3 men are also doing missing out, and so are the Cat 1-2 men. So we got a whole bunch of missing out elimination style races coming up. Bell's ringing for second. Second place. Ivan Robles, the rider in the lead spot right now. Inspired by the effort he saw earlier, trying to pull off a repeat. Looks like this time it's going to be Aiden McClinton, who is ready with an attack. And our winner of the first race also sliding in is Artem Schmidt. McClinton, though, does not want to be upset here, so a big move by him. Oh, nice sprint for 4-2-1. McClinton, 4-2-1. McClinton will get it. This seems like a smart move now. There's no reason to go back into the field if you're already here, as Artem Schmidt will go ahead and roll with the momentum he has. The energy he has spent, he can't get back, so he might as well use it to his advantage and see if he can get third place off the back of this effort. Now the field's going to calculate, do we catch or not? And it kind of looks like the answer is no. So now we've got a pack sprint for fourth coming up in a couple laps. And potentially the story's already been written for Schmidt, who's on his way to get third, as he's about 200 meters up on this pack already. They're sitting nice and relaxed here. They know there's nothing to sprint for a few more laps. So they're now thinking at the 1 to go mark. This is just a reminder. He's going to pick up third on the next lap, as he's got lots of running room here. The way he won the first race off the front, it's a comfortable spot for Schmidt. The field all together in turns 3 and 4. They are in no rush. They know that third place is pretty far out of their reach right now. Bell's ringing for third place. Schmidt coming out of the turn, a winner of the first race. You'll find third in the win and out. Getting, I'll call that a polite applause from our fans. It's like we're at a golf match all of a sudden. In they come. This is now going to be 3 laps left. And again, we're looking for a sprint. We're looking for a sprint and a couple laps out of this group to get fourth, or to get fourth place and fifth and all the rest, of course. There's no pull out of that pack for any positioning. The rider that got third place is in front of the pack. So a lot of work done there, but the pack was not finding a lead rider. Jurassic will get himself back into the field after doing a lot of work and putting on a lot of speed. He tires out some of the riders in this pack, thinning things down. At 2 to go. Here they come, across the finish line. The next time we see them, the bell's ringing for the last lap, and we'll figure out all the rest of the positions. James Campbell Harris, I believe the name there for the rider coming across the line, the last lap for Hedrick Racing. Coming into the final lap, it's 1 to go for fourth place in the rest. Here we go. Campbell Harris at the front again. This time will be Carl Pratis wearing the junior colors that are going to get things moving. He's matched by another junior in the field, as now Jurassic making a nice move here to make acceleration. Out of the turn, 3 riders leading at the front. Now it looks like we got yet another coming in to spoil the fun. A nice move around the outside. It's a rider in the Hagens Bourbon colors, David Mullen. Dave Mullen, it looks like, will take the fourth place finish at the front of the field, as all of our riders will exit on this lap. Everyone is finished up. And looking across the track, looks like our athletes are exiting. We are set for the women to come to the rail, please. Women competitors can come to the rail. Upcoming is a missing out. This race, we're looking at the back of the field instead of at the front, and it's going to be action every single lap. After this start of the race is sounded by the whistle, every lap thereafter, we pull the last rider across the line until we get down to 3. And that's what the missing out races typically run as. We get down to 3, then they get a nice no pull. So one lap where there's no one pulled from the group of 3, and then they sprint for third between the last 3 that make it through. So let's see who can survive into the top 3 and sprint for top 3 places here in our women's field. The missing out underway, looking for the last rider across the line every time. On deck, the Cat 3 men for their missing out. Cat 3 men are coming up next. So our women's field trying to stay near the front of this thing. It's a small field to start, nowhere to really hide. So everyone's going to have to be fairly active nearly every lap, looking for a bit of a running room over the right-hand side, having to accelerate, be contending for positioning. And Carol looking like she's finding some room. It'll be on the inside, 201, Danielle Hammer. Hammer caught on the lap as Johnson does get enough acceleration as I'm talking about her on the mic. Just enough to hold on. Riders doing that work around the outside oftentimes determine the outcomes of these early laps. Their acceleration over the top is a lot of effort being spent, but at least they have room to move. If you're down at the bottom, not so much. Little shrug here, a little smile there. Carol Johnson will exit this time. Every lap you survive, you get closer to the top placings. With 6 in the group right now, 3 more to be pulled before the no-pull lap. That no pull will essentially be the bell lap for them, as that'll be their signal to be 1 to go at that point. 6 in the group. Here comes another one to pull. Kira Lewis trying to accelerate on the outside. Looking at the middle. 116 is Emily Alexander. The yellow bike frame will make its way off, along with its rider, of course. 5 survive. Currently, it's Bryn Ward at the front of the group with Annette Williams and Amara Edwards in real close formation, trying to be as efficient as they can, as Bryn Ward currently taking the group around on the laps. Now forcing Kira Lewis to try to respond. Diane Zeta looking to fight, will give it up about here and kind of shake the head, say, yeah, we're good. We'll do the next race. Diane Zeta will exit on the lap. 4 remain. 1 more to eliminate before the no pull. Lap cards will read 2 to go to help out our group understanding where we're at here. Why not show the cards earlier? Sometimes we have little mishaps in communication or the call, so sometimes there are no pull laps mid-race. We got here without any problems. And Edwards having to do a big effort here. 4 riders spread out. Ward trying to hold on, and the group will swing over the top of her. 101, Bryn Ward. Down to 3, no pull this time, so the riders can reset themselves and think about how they're going to finish this. As Annette Williams, Amara Edwards, and Kira Lewis are the ones to get in here. That's now Edwards at the front of the group. 2 riders with blue at the front. The first one, Amara Edwards. The second one, Annette Williams. The third, that's 3 riders in blue, I should say, as there's 2 riders for center cycles out there. Kira Lewis, the one near the back, as they all now pull up close to the railing and get ready for the bell. Top 3 in the women's field coming up. Here they are. It's Edwards here in the bell at 1 to go. Edwards leading things down the back straight. As now Williams waiting. Now Edwards feeling that she has to move from the front. Williams will take that as her signal to launch an attack of her own and take over the front position. Soundly and quickly. Kira trying to find enough speed to hold on to Williams, but Williams getting away quickly. It'll be Annette, Kira, and Edwards across the line for the top 3. Cat 3 men to the rail. Cat 3 men for the missing out to the rail, please. Another missing out, so same thing we just saw a moment ago. A few more riders in the field means there's, by default, going to be more laps to the race. But the end result's the same. We get down to 3, we get the no pole lap, and off we go for top 3. No one wants to take the lead position in this missing out. An unusual formation here as we get into it. Riders waiting to take the front away from anybody else. Someone's got to set the edge. And right now, someone's thinking about it, but no one's taking the spot just yet. Next time around, we start eliminating riders. This is our first lap of the missing out for the Cat 3 men. On deck is Cat 1 2 men for their missing out. First rider to get out. Good acceleration here. Not a lot of room to maneuver down low. Diana Racing will find themselves out with David Bryan. David Bryan felt that time, 3:07. Diana Racing, another one of our teams showing up in force week after week in the pink and black. Nolan Adams putting on a little bit of an, I'll give it a 3 out of 10 show on the front there. Nice acceleration again. The outside taking it. 3:18, Steve Maynard. Maynard, the black and green on the inside. The shortest way around the track, oftentimes the most difficult to stay in the missing out. Speed around the outside is hard work, but it does guarantee you that you can control your own destiny if you're out there. And we'll see a couple of those riders trying to exercise that power again. Squeezing in for room. Very close between two. It's going to go towards John Bowie. 334 eliminated. 334. As the junior alongside of him, Kaiser, was awfully close between the two. With each lap, there's a little bit more room to move. Still squeezing in there for space is now the name I just called a moment ago, Kaiser, trying to find a window. Coming around the outside, Hedrick finding room to stay in the race, looking down to his left. 3:06 is Stone O'Brien caught that time. 3:06, O'Brien. 3 more riders will get eliminated here, so 3 more laps of this elimination before we hit the no pole moment. And we'll be in our top 3. So 6 remain, 3 to pole. Once again, that sprinter's lane left wide open. What does this mean? Well, it's a lack of commitment. That's what it is. No one wants to do that extra work down there and lead the way. Everybody's trying to hedge their bets and save their efforts. 3:15 on the inside as Kaiser with the blue helmet is caught. 5 in the group still remain. Pierce Noblin for Hedrick Racing is the rider at the front, riding the blue line. Right on his right-hand side is Ben Rackness for the Jerry Baker Jr. team. Mike Darlene is behind him for Center Cycles. Alex Siegel will drop down to the sprinter's lane. It's bib number 312 that'll be leading things out here as he come out of the turn, but who's going to survive? Looks like one rider's already starting to make that choice. It's 316 as Snowblin will sit up a little bit before the finish line and is pulled out on the last of the eliminations. Or one more elimination to go, I should say. Our penultimate one. The last rider to get pulled from the race on this lap. Rackness and Darlene side by side. Siegel and Hedrick side by side in the second row. Siegel will take a slight left-hand turn and just follow that hill down into the sprinter's lane. Once again, coming out of the turn, leading things is Rackness. 3-1-2 as Siegel is caught there, as he knows it as they cross the line. 3 left. There's no pole this time. They're going to be getting the bell as they come around for the top 3 places. Cat 1-2 men, you're about ready to start. In the orange helmet for Jerry Baker Jr.'s, that's Ben Rackness. On his right-hand side for Hedrick Racing in that all-black kit is Carson Hedrick. And now in that third wheel spot currently is Mike Darlene in the all-black, or all-blue with the bright blue sleeves. He's riding for Center Cycles. They now roll up close to the rail, getting ready for the last of these attacks. Almost looking like they're standing still compared to the speed we've seen earlier at 1 to go. Looking like a 3-up sprint. The second lap of a 3-up sprint here, with Hedrick leading things out and the riders dancing on the pedals waiting for their chance. Rackness guards the left-hand turn for Hedrick. Darlene's got a window. He's going to still stay on the wheel. Yeah, faking the move and down that little hill. Getting a slight acceleration as Rackness will take the lead position. He's going to try to dive left a little bit. He's leaving room underneath. Now he's in that spot. And he's got a finishing kick. Can the junior hold on? Darlene's coming in for it. Rackness has got some speed, though. He's looking like he might be informed to finish at the front, diving it. Rackness, Darlene, and Hedrick for our top 3. The 200-meter effort, good for the young'un. And our riders making their way off on the back straight. In just a moment, we'll call up our last of these elimination formats. Here come our Cat 1-2 men. Was that to me, Emily? Oh, yeah. Okay, good. That's right. Off we go with our last race of the eliminations. This is a missing out for the Cat 1-2 men. Up to the rail, please. An interesting instruction there. I want to make sure that they heard it clearly. Our officials just reminding them we're going down to 5 instead of 3 with the size of field. It'll make the race a few laps shorter. Most importantly, it'll make for an even bigger field to sprint at the end. So down to 5 and then the no pole. This is the fastest neutral you've ever seen. Well, that's because that's missing out the positioning. The riders that want to be at the front will get there right away and guard that spot. It's hallowed grounds for the riders that like to set the tempo. And they just get together in time for the whistle. The front edge is being led by the namesake of the velodrome, at least from the family name, is Andy Baker, son of Jerry Baker, leading things out for Pied Broadmark management team. That white helmet. He's going to settle in there for quite some time, I imagine. Blyfoos on his right-hand side, also a rider that will enjoy guarding the front. Sometimes in this field, you'll even see competitors swing up to the front and take the lead position from someone else. Something you don't see as often in other fields. Coming into it and finding room around the outside. The number called is number 10, Shimada. 1-0, bib 10, James Shimada. Wide across the back there. So these next couple laps are going to be awfully close as riders are all fighting for space. Keeping your eyes peeled here at the finish line for the back part of the field. Watch this movement around the right side. Number 15 is called there. Bib 15 is Dave Matthews. Matthews. Awfully close again. I'm looking at about 3 riders all really lined up at the line. We're going to see that for several more laps. He's going to be awfully contentious. Out of turn 4. Look at this. The leader has changed as Miller comes flying to the front. Number 24 found there is Nolan Adams for Dyna Racing. He ran it up a couple of laps, didn't have quite enough space there to get it done. Non-stop speed in the missing out. You can see this as, again, the front's getting a little contentious. We had Miller fly up there. He wants to participate in the work at the front. It's now Baker and Miller side by side. Number 22 is found there is Mike Rogers. Kind of cruising off the back already a little bit. Seemed like he was ready for that to occur. Again, we're working our way down to 5. Still plenty of laps to go. Out of the turn, we see, again, riders fanning out to the right. There's a pretty condensed form here. Not as many people trying to explode over the top. It's Martinez, number 19. Nick Martinez, 19. Number 19 will exit this time. And you'll see this happen time and time again. The inside, nowhere to go. Caught by an inch. As it looked like Vern Cole on Martinez's right side was almost wheel to wheel with him. But Vern able to move a little bit further up. Here they come again. On the home straight. Not as much movement around the outside on that last lap. Here we see riders really swinging out, using that room. 21 on the inside caught there. And I believe that's Wilson's. Steve Wilson's, number 21. This is the last of our elimination style races tonight. And our largest field means it'll be the longest event as well, because each lap determined by how many riders are in the group. We're working our way down to 5, still a ways to go. Number 23 is Dave Richter. Bit of a move off the front here. Again, this is something you'll see in this field more than in other groups. Riders that know that they have that long distance advantage, they just want to get up to the front and be ready to move. As Chip Chase will get there. 2-0, number 20, Pekka Jaska. Pekka Jaska. Still watching here with the back end, about 3 or 4 riders across almost every time. That time it's 2-5. It's Vern Cole, Liquid Velo. Oh, looking down that sprinter's lane. Yep, it'll be Ludo Max, number 14. I count 11 still out there. So as long as we're on track here and no bumps along the way in terms of messing up on our communication, we're looking for 6 more laps to pull 6 more riders, get down to the final 5. Good time to cozy up with a beverage in the beverage garden before our last set of races. The points races are coming up for all of our fields. That's up next. 34 is on the inside is Haldeman. 34, Haldeman caught there. Inside position caught an awful lot here in that sprinter's lane. Tough place to be. And it's why you can see a lot of those riders that want to ride consistently, like those riders are in the sprinters lane, taking that effort to go all the way around the outside and sprint to the front, taking their turns up there. That's going to go to number 5, Blyfoos. Number 5, Blyfoos. It was him and Thurgood that were edging each other out very close. Oh, big move. Not enough. 27. Lee Thurgood. 27. Yep. He'll acknowledge. Just not quite enough acceleration. He knew what he had to do, but that window closed down awfully quick. Looks like we got one rider tossing in the towel a little early. So Audi Racing will send Walker home a bit early here. He'll exit on the lap. Seeing now where our group is at, 7 in this field remain. That's 2 more eliminations. 2 more eliminations in this missing out a high-speed event, non-stop speed. Oh, who's gonna not find it? Number 6. He's already aware. Is Dave Chip Chase. One more elimination coming up. They'll be seeing 2 to go. There's about to be the no-pole lap, and then the top 5 sprint will be underway. A big field here will be left over, bigger than we saw a moment ago in those previous races. Here comes the sprint to keep into the top 5. Quarter 4 Racing trying to find the speed. It'll be number 8 that's caught there at the line. Chris Baker. Our top 5 starting to set themselves up here. Miller at the front in the all black. Andy Baker on his right-hand side. Leading things out right now. As they come through the turn, it will be the bell lap. 1 to go as Baker is leading it out. 1 to go. Baker at the front of this group. Brandon Russell in the all green is in a good spot. He's watching for Baker to make a move, and as soon as they get about 300 meters out, it'll be Russell to make the attack in the all green look there. In the blue, trying to celebrate his birthday in style is one of our local speedsters, Kenny Williams, making a big move, and here comes the big attack from Pyatt Broadmark. Is Andrew Carlberg been holding on to this big move out of turn 4, and he's got a good acceleration. Carlberg, Miller, and Williams will find the front. Juniors, we invite you to the rail for your points race. Coming up next, folks, we got a series of points races. This tends to be one of our favorite closers for a Friday night. So if you haven't seen this kind of racing before, it's kind of mathy. It's got a lot of strategy to it, several sprints, lots of good chances for different types of riders to have their spotlight. It's a good way to close a program, and they tend to be a little bit longer in format, more laps involved, so the riders get to really go through their paces. Juniors here for a 3x3. I'll explain the rules for those in attendance as they're going through the neutral. So this race, the points race, We have to keep track of score as the race unfolds. We're going to give points to the leaders on the lap on certain sprint laps. On these points laps, they are signaled by the sound of the bell. So if you're just kind of checking in for where the action's happening, listen for the sound of the bell. On that lap, we're going to give the leader of the lap 5 points, second rider across the line 3, third rider across the line 2, and fourth rider will get 1. That's 5, 3, 2, and 1 on the points laps. The final lap of a points race is worth double. So we'll go up to 10, 6, 4, and 2, and add up the totals from the entire event. The rider with the most number of points at the end is the winner. Ties, in the case there are any, are broken by position on the final sprint. Worth noting, getting lapped is worth a negative 20. Lapping the field is worth a positive 20. Sound of the whistle means we are underway. Our riders will be hearing a bell at 7 to go. That's 2 out from now. So 7 to go, there will be a bell for the first sprint. On deck are Cat 4 men for their points race. Nothing out for this lap, so they're getting ready for it. They know it's 8 to go. The bell rings next time they see the lap cards. Setting up for the first of 3 sprints. You can see over in turn 1, don't be intimidated. He's just bringing out the good gear. He wants to get a good picture of you. As Dennis Crane hanging out, DBC Photo. If you want pictures of the racing action afterwards, you can browse the website at DBC Photo. That's dbcphoto.com. Pick out your favorites, share it with all your friends. Send a little love to Dennis's way. He does a lot of good work for us in taking great photos of our riders at the track. Sports photography specialist. Getting the bell. It's our juniors for the first sprint. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Next time around, 7 to go. 5, 3, 2, and 1 to the leaders. Lucy Gilchrist finds herself sneaking up to the front. She's got Danielle Scoville right behind her in the white jersey. So we're watching the front of the race for the points. Some of our older juniors battling it out. It's going to be out of the turn. Scoville leading it out. Trying to find the first 5. Good acceleration from the outside. Scoville, Jurassic, Pyle, and I think it might have been Spranger for 1, unofficially. Officially having the lead is Scoville with 5. Isaac Jurassic in second with 3. JC Pyle in third with 2. And Joe Spranger in fourth with 1. And so with that, we have one of the 3 sprints left to go here. Looks like I have the wrong name on the start list here, so my apologies. That's Ben Jurassic sitting in second place right now, not Isaac. Ben, the bell's ringing for Ben and the rest of the pack here. Next time around, it'll be our second sprint. 5, 3, 2, and 1 to the leaders is JC Pyle, one of our riders with some points, sitting there at the front with bib 408, looking around, trying to see what might be the next thing to occur. Is Scoville, our current race leader, in all white with the blue helmet. Yeah, there's some noise to help out our riders. Guthrie getting some love through this home straight here. On the back straight, the sprint going underway. Do I see Neon? I think I do. Is Pyle coming out of the turn well ahead of the field, looking to pick up 5. Springer making a move. Here comes Ben with a nice sprint. Springer versus Ben. Whoa. Was it Joe or Ben? I don't know. Scoville, I think, will get the 1. Pyle picks up 5, moving his total up to 7 points unofficially. Jurassic will get called in at second place of the line, so he'll pick up the 3 points. Springer will pick up 2. Our new unofficial totals is JC Pyle on the lead with 7, and second place is a tie between Ben Jurassic and Danielle Scoville. They're both sitting at 6 apiece. After that is Joe Springer sitting in 4th with 3. We have one more sprint to go. It's the last one, and it's worth double. 10, 6, 4, and 2 on the final lap. The lead group going under Greg's cycle in turn 2. Our race leader right in the middle at near the front, just above that blue line. He's got the black and blue jersey on with the neon helmet. Bib number 408, we'll see him come around here. The leader in that field in position with the white jersey. One of the riders in second place. Only 1 point separating first and second, so the last sprint will be extraordinarily critical here to the top 3 placings. It's 1 to go. Final lap for the juniors. Come on, it's easy to make some noise for the young riders. 1 to go. Our last race of the night for the young competitors here tonight. Springer will make the move down to the sprinter's lane. A nice sprint here, and no one's responding just yet. Joe's going for it. 1 to go, juniors. 1 to go. Remember, ties are broken on this last sprint, so the sprint counts. So in the back group, it looks like Caleb's going to try to make a move at 400 meters to go. Down the back straight, it's Joe Springer making the early attack. It's Pyle trying to come back into this thing. I think that's Ben Jurassic trying to make an attack as well. Here comes Joe for 10 points. Joe coming in for 10. Pyle versus Jurassic. It looks like it'll be Pyle getting the 6. Jurassic 4. And, whoa, Scoville finding enough to pick up 2 more in the back of all that. Here we go, folks. Make some more noise. Here's a nice attack from Caleb coming out from the turn, and he's leading this group. Breaks some ties here. Oh, and the sprint is on. Nicely done. Great racing from our juniors. One more rider, and you guys are already doing so good. I don't need to coach you on that, what we're going to do when this happens. Last junior coming around the corner here. One more competitor before we bring up our next field. It starts down the beverage garden. Let's hear it. Nice racing tonight. Great effort by all of our junior competitors. Anybody who's been on a bike knows the hardest way to get through a fast effort is on your own. Guthrie there, we're doing a great job. Finishing up with our juniors for tonight. They'll take a break and rest it up. We're going to bring out our next group. Looks like we're good to go. So Cat 4 men to the rail. Cat 4 men to the rail. Off our group goes for a 4x4 points race. 4x4 for 16 laps in total. This for our Cat 4 men. On deck is the women's field for a points race. That's all we got left. I don't have to tell you that. We got points racing going on for the rest of the program tonight. That's why we emphasize this point. If you're just coming in to check out the velodrome, you just come in moseying through the park and heard somebody talking. This is not an exclusive club. You too can race on this track. It's actually pretty easy to get started. If you just want to have a conversation with somebody, if you're curious about how to do this, or you want to know how to get involved in general, or maybe you don't want to get involved, you just want to know when racing is and you want to come back and check it out some more. We're racing all summer long. Just come talk to one of our friendly staff. You can come over to the main building where I'm announcing from and find one of us after racing is completed, or just yell up to me up here on the balcony. I'll be happy to answer questions or get you hooked up with somebody. Please don't just yell at me randomly. I don't know if I deserve that. Our group on track right now about to get started out of the neutral for their 16-lap points race. This is a 4x4, so 4 sprints every 4 laps with the same rules we saw in the last event. First bell at 13 to go. Getting some encouragement here early on. Must be some favorites working in the front here. The 426 is Dave Mullen in the black or the blue kit. He's riding in colors for Hagen's Bourbon. He's riding up along the blue line, actually, as he kind of slots back a little bit, leaving a little bit of opportunity for someone else to come flying up into the front and put on their own attack. These early sprints can add up. The only one that gets extra weighted value is that final sprint that gets doubled up. Everything else is going to be 5, 3, 2, and 1. Here comes a bit of a move early on in the race, looking at 14 to go. Is Will Teal, if I'm not mistaken, the winner of our second race, makes a move. Riders learned after that winning out to not leave Will alone. So a lot of riders responding quickly, getting things back together again. We got a bit of a separation in the field, though. Most of the riders showing that they're devoted to keep the thing all together. Here comes the bell. Points next time around. McClinton starting to accelerate, so Schmidt. The rider in blue, Schmidt, responds quickly to McClinton's attack. The rider in white and red. Schmidt with a good acceleration catches McClinton, and now turns it up another notch and decides to launch an attack around his right side, and he comes out to the front. It'll be the rider in blue trying to find the first 5. Artem Schmidt takes the lead. McClinton will still find a nice payout of 3. Teal picking up 2, and Mullen, I believe, getting the 1. Our leader, artificially, Artem Schmidt in the blue kit, is also at the front of the race right now. He'll actually move up a little bit, and he's looking to slow back down and get some help from riders like Aiden McClinton, the rider in second place with 3. Behind him is Will Teal, the rider in third with 2 points. Sitting with 1 is David Mullen, currently in 4th. Next time we hear the bell will be at 9 to go, so we're still working towards that bell lap. The riders with points that we've been calling out are all up here. They've been joined by Ben Jurassic. Make that Isaac. I'll get it figured out eventually. Just have to change up my start list a little bit here, but I think I got it all straightened out, as Isaac Jurassic will be the one to join up in that front group of 5. That group now coming out of turn 4. That's the front of the race, and they will be hearing the sound of the glorious bell, getting points next time. All of our race leaders are in this group, so the riders that have gotten points previously have all moved up into this breakaway field. And with a long race like this, they know putting on the pressure now is a great way to separate ourselves from everybody else and just get all the points to us. Down the back straight, it'll be Schmidt that's got another attack stored in those legs. He's forcing Will Teal to make a big sprint himself. Schmidt coming out of the turn at the front. Will Teal trying to hold on. It'll be Schmidt, Teal, McClinton, and Jurassic. Couple of ties out on the track right now in that lead group of 5 that we're going to update you in a moment on. It looks like our race leader is still Artem Schmidt. After picking up another 5, unofficially has 10. Will Teal and Aiden McClinton sitting in second place, both with 5 points. It'll be Isaac Jurassic and David Mullen sitting currently in 4th place in a tie with 1 apiece. All those points totals are unofficial. Our 5's been doing a lot of work against each other. This is maybe inviting their chase group to try to re-energize themselves and see if they can get back up to it, as they've been unable to get any points. Only 2 sprints remain. Next lap, we'll hear a bell. Will Teal will start to accelerate this thing back up again. He's got that gray helmet on with the green kit. One of the riders sitting in second place right now, so he wants to do some more work. Here's another rider willing to work, is going to be Isaac, now re-accelerating this field. He only has a point, so he's looking for more in the next sprint. Some chasing riders feeling like they might be able to get here in time. It's a bad time to catch, though, as the bell's ringing for more points. This time will be our 3rd sprint. Next time around, 5, 3, 2, and 1, as Teal is leading things out. Schmidt trying to re-accelerate in the front again. He's won 2 sprints. Can he win another? He looks like he's got the form for it. McClinton is in a good spot too, but may not be able to respond to Schmidt in time. It's Schmidt coming out of the corner trying to win his 3rd in a row. 5 more for Schmidt, 3 more for Teal, 2 for McClinton, and Mullen will find 1. Couple riders getting caught by leaders in the pack means they're going down a lap. Riders that are between the leaders that are off the front and the pack are considered in no man's land. They actually can't even get points on a sprint, so they either need to catch back up and be back on the same lap, or they're going to get lapped and get minus 20. They don't get points on the sprint while that's getting sorted out. My unofficial totals as it stands is our leader, Artem Schmidt, with 15 points. In second is Will Teal with 8. Third is Aiden McClinton with 7. In 4th is David Mullen with 2. Isaac Jurassic is in 5th with 1. And the bell is underway. We got 1 to go. 1 to go. Our race leader hearing it. He's well ahead of the field. The rider in all blue on a mission here to close out tonight in good style and get up these 10 points. Next closest rider is just now crossing the finish line is Teal and McClinton, both in the chase for second place right now. Next closest rider is here in the field, just now crossing the line. The main group, we've got A couple riders with points in there, including the junior Jurassic and Dave Mullen have been swallowed up by that main pack. Here comes our winner as Artem Schmidt will just clean house and take every one of the sprints here tonight in the Cat 4 men. A clean sweep. McClinton with a big explosion, trying to find the 6 points here and try to secure second place for himself. Will Teal has been in a battle with McClinton back and forth. He'll find the 4. And this sprint's for 2, and look at this. The kid's got some more. Looks like it'll be Isaac coming out of the group for 2. All of my points totals are unofficial. We will make sure to get those results posted on the infield for you all to be able to see how that one turned out. A couple more riders finishing up in our Cat 4 men's field. We're about ready to start for the women. Women's field is coming up to the rail. Few more races left for us here tonight on this first session of the Kickoff event. The 2019 season is now starting. These couple of sessions over the weekend. We will resume with some more action tomorrow morning. We got a 10 a.m. session planned, as well as a 6 p.m. tomorrow with the food truck and the beverage garden open again. Love to have you back for some more racing tomorrow night if you got the time in your schedule. Our Kickoff event going on this weekend here at the track. This lap here going to be another neutral. The event we're seeing before our very eyes. Another 4x4 points race for the women, plus a few juniors that are sneaking in. Okay, they were invited. It's not like they were like ninjas. But maybe that's what they'll do in the field. Maybe they'll be the unexpected fire starters, the troublemakers. Mix things up a little bit here with our women competitors. Well, how's that work? I thought we were doing season points. Well, don't worry. The juniors aren't up for those. But they are in here to try to see what they can do against their competitors. And the whistle is given on the home straight. The race can begin. See, I told you these troublemakers you just invited trouble. Ben Drassic's like, yeah, I know what that looks like. I'll make a big move right now, right off the start of the race. He's like a little firecracker. He'll just pull right back up to the right and slot himself back into the field after showing off a quick kick. We will get the kickoff totals from tonight's efforts up by the end of the night. Our officials are making sure that everything is all squared away before they post anything in error or incomplete. So before you leave tonight, you can get a sense of where the overall standings are for our kickoff event. We are adding up points for the overall weekend, including the time trialing events that'll happen tomorrow morning. If you're interested in watching riders against the clock, a little bit different format than these mass starts, that is tomorrow at 10 a.m., session number 2. Streaming that as well. We are keeping our eye on the weather. You can keep yourself posted to our Twitter at JB Velodrome to get updates up to the second from our team. Seeing 14 to go, a bell at 13. Next time around, the bell is ringing for Bryn Ward and the rest of these competitors. Danielle Hammer trying to keep a mark on Bryn. Staying near the front is so will Williams and Lewis, as they'll also accelerate, trying to get themselves set up for this first of 4 sprints. First bell's ringing as they're coming out of the corner, and we'll give out those 5, 3, 2, and 1 next time around. It's Ward at the front. Williams, Lewis, Edwards, some of our riders that made it through that missing out in the last race, find themselves near the front again. Danielle Hammer down in the sprinter's lane, getting ready for the first opportunity to get points up on the board. It's going to be Ward chasing down 5 on this first lap. She's going to make the attack at about 200 meters left. The rider with the pink shoes moving quick through the turn. Williams still challenging. It'll be Ward coming out of the turn with Williams overtaking. Oh, I think it might have been Lewis getting the 3. That's unofficial, with Ward maybe getting 2. Emily Alexander popping out of the field to pick up the 1 point from what I can see. Coming out of the turn at 11 to go. The next bell will be at 9. That's that colorful, bright helmet of J.C. Pyle. One of the juniors trying to mix it up with the group here. So the official call will be Annette Williams getting the first place in the sprint for 5. Second place across the line for 3 is Kira Lewis. Bryn Ward will get the 2. Emily Alexander does get the 1. And that'll also be their current order in the race. Again, our leader, Williams with 5. Second place, Lewis with 3. Ward, 3rd with 2. Alexander, 4th with 1. Ben Drassic again, moving around on the track using that quick kick of his, a nice big acceleration before deciding to go back into the field and seeing what happens at the front here. It might be Diane Zeta, I believe, trying to push the pedals now at the front. Bell's ringing for another sprint. It's our second of 4. Diane Zeta's got them all lined up. Hesitating, but wanting to stay at the front is Zeta now, coming on this bell lap with Williams, Ward, and Lewis lined up in the wheels behind her. And now the sprint getting underway. It'll be Williams and Ward leading it out. Lewis still right there. Last time through it was Williams getting the 5. Can she do it again? She's looking strong tonight, trying to come through the turn, picking up another 5. And looking on pace. Lewis versus Ward. We saw this earlier. Looks like Ward might get it this time. So the big sprint, riders will slow down actually and let the chase come right underneath them. So 4 riders on the move. We're trying to catch back on. They've done so as Edwards is trying to catch back onto this big attack by Emily Alexander, who's now out all on her own, trying to pick up the next 5, unchallenged. Big effort from her to do that here at 7 to go. So the rider to get the 1 point in the last sprint was J.C. Pyle. He puts himself in a tie with Emily Alexander. They both have 1 apiece. They're sitting in 4th place. This is behind Kira Lewis and Bryn Ward with 5 apiece. Sitting in second, they're tied. Our leader is Annette Williams with 10. Those numbers confirmed by our officials. It's 6 to go. It's still Emily Alexander. She's riding that black and green of Liquid Velo. Got the yellow frame underneath her, and she is at the front of the pack. About 30-some meters separate her in that group. Maybe a bit more than that now as she's starting to open up some space here as the field is fanning out a little bit, not taking a very aggressive position on this track right now. Alexander trying to cash in, and she looks like she's going to be able to do so. The rider in black and green gets the bell. She still has quite a bit of space here to find 5 at 5 to go. JC Pyle at the front of the field. He's like, hey, come on, is someone going to go get her? What are we doing? Bryn Ward now finds herself at the front. On deck will be the Cat 3 men. In their points race, our final group of the night will be the Cat 1-2s. The sprint is on for 3 points out of the group. It's going to be Alexander getting the 5 on this lap. Out of the field, Lewis, timing a nice move, will lead the group down the straight. Kira will get 3. Annette will get 2. Ward will find 1. The leader of the race is Annette Williams with 12. Unofficially, our second place rider will be Kira Lewis with 8. Bryn Ward with 6, sitting in third, in a tie with Emily Alexander, also with 6 points. Our 5th place rider in the competition will be JC Pyle, still sitting with 1. 3 to go. The lead of the race is Alexander, now joined by Edwards, overtaken here. Maybe they'll start to work together to try to stay away from the chasing pack as they're all gassing for air. Edwards now taking advantage of the slow speed from the field. Will try to do what she saw Emily do, but she knows this last sprint's worth double. So this could be a big payout for Greg Streck. Getting 2 to go. Bib 104 on the move. Another one of our pink handlebars with some speed out here tonight. Emily Alexander behind her. That gap starting to open. The next sprint worth 10, 6, 4, and 2. This could put Edwards right up into top 2 or 3, depending on the riders behind her finish for this sprint. So a good move there. Alexander still in a good spot also to pick up more points. Will also be staying in a top finishing position for their solo efforts. They don't have to sprint. They just got to ride away. 1 to go for Edwards. 1 to go. Program Director Edwards off the front. Chased by Alexander. She's got a big gap, though. And here comes the field now, sprinting for 4 points on this lap. It'll be Annette Williams coming out of the group. She's hunting. Look at the speed from her. She's trying to get up there for 6. Bryn Ward also trying to hold on to Annette's speed. Alexander might be losing her position here as Annette's looking like she's got a good turn of speed, trying to catch back on. Edwards making the move several laps ago, coming out for 10 points and trying to find the big payout. On the lead-out attack, it'll be Edwards. Slotting in for 10. Williams, with a great move from the pack, overtakes for 6. Emily Alexander's been out here for a long time. She finds 4 more. Bryn Ward in the pink, in blue and black, bib 101 there, getting the 2 points. Our riders are all finished up on that one. They'll exit on the back straight. Our unofficial leader of that race and winner will be Annette Williams with that 10-point sprint. I believe Edwards will find herself in second place in a tie with Alexander with 10 points, but Alexander, having finished behind, will be the tiebreaker go to Edwards. So I believe it goes Williams, Edwards, Alexander. Those results are unofficial. Track looks good. Very good. Let's bring up our next group. Cat 3 men are coming to the rail. Oh, look at that. You guys are stuck right on up there without me looking. Shame on me. Or wait, shame on you? I can't tell. On deck will be the last race of the night as Cat 1-2 men are getting set to go for their points race. They're coming up next. Coming over, join us in the beverage garden. We got 2 longer races coming up. They're good to watch. A good showing of our athletes here, our local competitors coming out tonight with a 5x5 and a 7x5. This is a 25-lap event, 5 sprints every 5 laps, so plenty to keep track of and enjoy here. And on deck is a 35-lap event, our 7x5 for the Cat 1-2 men. Still plenty of stuff to see here at the track tonight. Whistle sounds for our first lap of the 25-lap scratch race. A 5x5 first bell will be at 21 to go. Steve Maynard takes the initiative on the first of these laps. The rider in the black and the green now at the front. He brings with him Snowblend to start this thing off. That's Hedrick that leads the lap, pulling up to the right. .23 laps to go. Our field's looking together here still. We'll see things kind of explode for a moment as we get into that first sprint and see what comes out of that. Bell ringing at 21 to go, so 2 laps until that. .22 to go. Next time around the bell. Starting to ramp things up a little bit. They're getting set like the prelude here before the real speed. Testing it out a little bit down that back straight. Still a long ways to the line for the points. So rolling it up. Rackness finds himself at the front of the sounding of the bell. The winner of the missing out finds himself at the front at 21 to go. Stone O'Brien on his wheel for Gencia Racing. A couple riders close in on him. It'll be still Rackness leading things out. He's got that lane underneath him, but no one's taking it just yet. And now the attack will come from both underneath and above. Both lanes available. Big sprint here coming out of the turn, looking to find the first points of the race. Bowie 5, Hedrick 3. I think it might have been Rackness for 2 over Stone O'Brien. Those results are unofficial. Forcing the field to respond. These two are going to try to put in some work as it'll be Hedrick and Bowie, the winners of that last sprint, the top 2 riders in that sprint, I should say, turning into a bit of a duet. Riders not wanting to let that one get away from them. Snowblend one of them, Rackness another, Kaiser Those three riders doing some serious work to immediately bring these two back within reach. Basically back together again. A bit of excitement at the front as, for a moment, Hedrick identifying an opportunity along with John Bowie to try to make a move. The field identifies the threat, brings them back in, and now we've got basically our main pack. A couple of riders find themselves in a disadvantageous position off the back. Will be out of the next sprint if they can't fix that soon. Again, the lead right now, John Bowie with 5, Carson Hedrick in second with 3. Stone O'Brien in a close sprint there between second and third and fourth place in that sprint. So right now, not certain of the third and fourth places. Bell's ringing for more points. This is our second sprint coming up. It'll be Bowie, Siegel, Darlene, and Rackness. My unofficial results have John Bowie sitting in the lead with 10 points now. 3 riders with 3 apiece is going to be Rackness, Hedrick, and Siegel in a tie for second place. Again, 3 riders I have sitting with 3 apiece: Rackness, Hedrick, and Siegel. Sitting in 5th place with only 2 is Michael Darlene, and just with that 1 point, Stone O'Brien, I should say, sitting in 6th. Current total is unofficial. Our leader, though, picking up 2 sprints in a row, John Bowie with 10 points. He's in that front break. Really, that's now our main pack, as the largest group of riders is off the front from a chasing group of 3 trying to get back in it. So here comes our main group, 13 to go. The race leader at the front pulling up to the right a little bit. Right behind him is Henry Kaiser. Mike Darlene getting points in the last sprints, also now starting to get on the action. We're past halfway on this fairly lengthy event, the 25-lap points race. Plenty of time for these athletes to sort this thing out. The next one's an even longer one. We got a 35-lapper coming up shortly. Current race leader again, John Bowie. He's in the middle of that group still as he survived through all the attacks. He's been active at the front, making lots of stuff happen. He's come out on top of 2 sprints in a row. He's got 10 points. After that, we've got several with 3, so he's got a nice commanding lead. Can he continue to build on that as we get into another bell lap? 3 sprints remain, 11 to go. No one's watching him, so he'll take a move as Darlene will dive into the sprinter's lane, and he's already got a running start at it. He knows he's got to put in a big effort as plenty of riders still with lots of speed behind him. This will be Rackness also responding immediately with enough of a sprint to be able to catch onto the back wheel. Now coming out of the turn, it'll be Darlene, Rackness, Darlene, Rackness. The orange helmet of Rackness taking it. Whoa! Exciting. Not sure he got there in time as Bowie really wanted it. I don't know. I'm going to have to wait for the call on the camera. My eyes say Rackness, Bowie, and Darlene, but again, we'll wait on the official confirmation. It looks like that's the way it'll go. So Rackness finds 5, Bowie 3, Darlene 2. Current race leader, John Bowie, still holding on to it. He got 3 more out of that one. He's very close to getting that 5 points, but barely getting beaten by Rackness, who's sitting now in second. That's Bowie in first with 13. Rackness in second with 8. In third place, I have a tie between Mike Darlene and Carson Hedrick. They both have 4. In sixth is Alex Siegel with 3. Then Kevin Stone O'Brien had the 1 from earlier. Those points are confirmed. Where's our race leader at? Well, he's kind of at the back end of this pack right now. That was a big effort a little bit ago, so some of those sprinters are getting ready for the next one. They've got 2 left. The one upcoming will be another one for 5, 3, 2, and 1, and then we're going to get that all-important double point sprint at the end. The closest race right now is the race for third, as we currently have Hedrick and Darlene in a tie with 4 points, and then close behind him is Alex Siegel with 3. So there's still a lot to be settled in the middle of these finishing places. Bowie's got a bit of a strong lead built up, but if he somehow finds himself not in the points, first place might be totally up for grabs again very quickly. At 7 to go, that's Peter Snoblin not yet finding points for himself. Saving it for the end here. Ryder favoring those longer races will now try to take the later laps and see what he can do with it. Rackness wants to mark his attack immediately, starts to do some work. He brings with him all of the rest of the contenders. Snoblin looking around trying to figure out how many riders matched his tempo. At 6 to go, the bell's ringing. Snoblin at the front. A little bit of frustration as he realizes that his attack did not turn into anything. Rackness immediately catching onto that wheel. Snoblin still at the front. And he'll try to accelerate a little bit. Here comes Bowie. He's got one saved up again. He's recovered enough. Here he goes. Rackness having to find a way to respond as fast as he can, as will Darlene. It looks like the attack from Bowie should be able to secure 5 more. He's on the move, looking for it. 5. And I think it'll be 3 for Rackness, 2 for Darlene, 1 for Siegel. Our race leader still John Bowie. He's been in the lead the entire race. He adds 5 more to his total to get up to 18. Sitting in second with 11 is Rackness. In third, Mike Darlene with 6 points. Currently sitting in fourth is a tie between Alex Siegel and Carson Hedrick. They both have 4. After that, I have Stone O'Brien with 1. Again, our leader with 18, our second place rider with 11. So that lead of the lead rider has only built over these sprints. The closest race still for third between Darlene, Hedrick, and Siegel. 2 points separate third and fourth place riders. So good race going on in the middle of those standings. Snoblin going to try this thing again, maybe a little before the bell. See who was willing to follow him after yet another sprint goes down. He knows what his strength is, and it's trying to get off the front a little bit and give himself enough room where no one can catch him. Kaiser doesn't want to let that happen, so he's going to try to respond as well. The field leaving a little bit of room here. Snoblin coming out of the turn at 2 to go. Peter Snoblin, Hedrick Racing, 2 to go. Henry Kaiser for the juniors team, matching speed. Getting an opportunity in the middle of the turn to look over the left shoulder and get a gauge about how far away he is from that pack, and he sees he's got some room now. So that'll be a motivator for these two. Snowman will take the lead back away. The pack is certainly not giving up on this one. They've got some speed going on here. It'll be Rackness trying to bring them back up. Bell's ringing for 1 to go. 10 points on the line. Snowblin, 1 to go. Can he make it happen this time? Rackness does not want to see that happen. Darlene moving fast. Rackness moving fast. Our race leader, Bowie. 1-2s. To the rail, please. Come on down. This is our last race of the evening. Our Cat 1-2 men going out on the track for a 35-lap race. This is going to be a 7x5. All the rules that you've heard up to this point for the points race will be the same in this event. There's just going to be 7 sprints, so the point totals could get a little higher. It's a little longer, so we could see riders trying to go the distance, maybe make it away all the way around the track and get around the field. This will give an opportunity for some different riders to be highlighted tonight than we haven't seen much of yet. We'll see how this points race plays out as they are going to be coming through the turn for the neutral and get the whistle to start. Martinez on lap 1 is off and away. He brings with him Nolan Adams of Dyna Racing. So it'll be a couple laps of effort here for our duo of Adams and Martinez, knowing that this is a good opportunity for them to try to get some work done. Look at this. The pack not yet feeling threatened enough to do a lot as riders are just going to peel off. Steve Wilson's, it looks like, going to sneak out of the group. Ludo Max sneaking out from there. So riders getting off away from this pack, trying to catch up to the breakaway. And our break of Adams, the rider in black and pink. Now at the front, he's got Martinez in the black, yellow, and blue of Broadmark. Couple more laps before the bell. Wilson's trying to get up there. This chase might be just timed perfectly. We're going to have to wait to see. Looks like Brendan Russell, the rider in the green, also joining in for the efforts with Ludo Max and Steven Wilsons. Those three are the closest to the chase of our front break here. 32 laps to go. The bell rings next time for Adams and Martinez. The rider in bib 21 leads that chase now. Wilson's getting awfully close to being the one to catch back up and making our break look a little bit bigger here. Sensing this might be the race, I see another rider just jump out of the pack as Andy Baker wants to go. This is what happens when the race is this long. Riders that think they can go the distance will have to make the move near the beginning, then that's when they're going to do it. Points next time at 31 to go. Points next time. Wilson's in the all blue at the front. Brendan Russell in second wheel. Ludo Max, and look who's made his way up. And he's got the momentum. He's just going to go and try for it. Look at this. Baker's going to ride right up into third wheel position. He's got a challenge against these two for a very fast sprint, though, as now Brendan Russell's will come out of the corner. Russell with a nice attack, finding the 5. Wilson's for 3. Baker coming all the way up for 2. Ludo Max for 1. The leader of this group right now in points is Brendan Russell, the rider in green. Sitting in second place with 3 is Steve Wilson's. Third place with 2 is Andy Baker. And with 1 is Ludo Max, with 4th place under his belt as of now. The main pack is trying to catch back up to the pace of the leaders, lest they be caught and be down the lap potentially. That would be the scenario at this current clip that these guys are moving at. They've got about a 200-meter distance to cover before they get back up to the group. Pack sees 28 to go as bib number 1, Kenny Williams, leading the group through. Our lead group has opened up a nice gap for themselves. The field is getting a lot of energy now as they're getting close to this next bell. 26 to go, and the bell's ringing for this second sprint. Our riders with points are all in that lead group of 5. The only rider without any, the rider in black and pink. But he's still up there, trying to find some in the middle of these sprints. Mike Rogers helping this team out. The team being the pack, trying to get back up there. Oh, Wilson's, I think, over Russell. Baker will find 2 more, and I think it's going to be 1 going the way of Max again. I'll wait on the official call to confirm. A great sprint there between Wilson's and Russell. So it will be Wilson's and Russell swapping so that they've now each taken the 5-point each and the 3-point each. They're in a tie for first with 8. That's, again, Stephen Wilson's and Brandon Russell, our leaders, 8 points apiece. After that, in third place is Andy Baker with 4. In fourth place, Ludo Max with 2. A couple riders on their own are going down lap. They are not currently on the lap of the leaders, but they're getting back into it. The group on the front here, the group of 4, seeing 23 to go. They've lost 1. All the riders with points now are the only ones in that lead 4. The chasing pack has really started to figure it out. They're in a nice tempo now. Riders coming to the front are all willing to do the work necessary, so the gap has started to close down. We'll see if that holds or not, as there's definitely riders in this field that have put out a lot of effort. Speaking of effort, these 4 for sure still doing some great work here at 22 to go. They probably have another sprint in them before this pack catches if they can stay aggressive. And the pack is really starting to pick up pace though, and they sense they're getting closer. Can they close down this opening before the bell? I don't know. Certainly not before the bell rings, but maybe by the time there's points coming out, maybe the pack will find themselves back at the front. Let's wait to see. Baker at the front, getting the bell, 21 to go. The pack is getting hungry. They've been starved this entire time. They're ready for some action of their own. Vern Cole now helping out the group. Chris Baker doing some work. The sprint down the back straight. We'll once again see Wilson's trying to take on the lead position, although for the first time it might not be Wilson's versus Russell. We now have Wilson's off the front. Baker trying to chase back up. Wilson's making a smooth move. Baker cruising in for 3, 2 for Ludo Max. And Russell will hang on for the 1. That'll put Steve Wilson's into the lead now on his own with 13 points. In second will be Brandon Russell with 9 points. With 7 in third is Andy Baker. In fourth with 4 points is Ludo Max. Those points are unofficial. Here's Ludo now working with Steve Wilson's as some of the riders have peeled off, looking for maybe some more people to be with. Take a little bit of a longer break. They sense the end is near. So points totals are confirmed as official. Again, our race leader with 13, Wilson's, just now buying into the reality that the breakaway has been caught and our riders are back into this field. They're seeing 18 to go. The next bell at 16 is now to be Karlberg doing some work to see what he can do with a group of 5 that are starting to nudge themselves away. After all that work to catch the leaders, maybe this is another chance for some riders to sneak off the front. $17 to go. It's Dave Chip Chase, Liquid Velo, black and green there down that sprinter's lane, finds himself having done some work to bring the bit of action at the front, just keep them close. He now finds himself alone at the front. A couple riders responding in kind, keeping their eyes on him. As the bell app is incoming, everybody's kind of setting themselves up. You can see the middle of the pack starting to stretch out, and riders swinging around a little bit, getting ready to go over the top if they might find positioning here. Stretched out, single file for 16 to go, and the next sprint's underway. Christian Miller, Dave Richter, and Kenny Williams are the first 3 to cross the line and make up the front of this group. Steve Wilson's our current race leader, is not done yet. He's also 4th in the lineup. Chris Baker is going to try to put out some speed as well. He's starting to slot himself into the position, but it'll be the attack from Richter coming out of turn 3 into 4. The Rocket's going to try to come out to the front at 15 remaining to find 5. Big attack. Kenny Williams responds to get 3. Christian Miller, nice and solid through all that action, finds the 2. I think that's Chris Baker. Wanting more, he finds just the 1. Looks like we've got our leader of Wilson's adding more. Excuse me, not Wilson's. That's going to be Richter adding to his first points total. So he is now under the board with 5 points after that sprint. Currently good to slot him into, I think, 4th place. Wilson's still in the lead after all of that. 12 points to Wilson's. In third, I have Brandon Russell still with 9. Second, excuse me, is still Brandon Russell with 9. In third is still Baker with 7. Here comes Richter in 4th with 5. Ludo Max in 5th place with 4 points. Kenny Williams next with 3. Christian Miller with 2. Chris Baker with 1. Lots of riders with points out there on the track right now. It's still Wilson's, the early activity, the leader of that breakaway from earlier in the lead. 12 to go. Besides Wilson's sizable lead and a pretty close chase from Brandon Russell, it's pretty close after we get below the third place here. So again, our leader with 12, or with 13, Wilson's with 12. Second place, Russell with 9. Third place, Baker with 7. Richter's got fourth place with 5. Little Max with 4, sitting in fifth. Then it goes 3 to Kenny Williams, 2 to Christian Miller, and 1 to Chris Baker. And those points are reflected by our officials team. At 11 to go, Brett Walker of the Audi Racing Team in the red is off the front. Ludo Max has recovered enough after all the effort in that breakaway to also try to match his move here. So 2 riders getting away from the pack. Just a reminder, folks, that we'll be doing podiums for the kickoff weekend tomorrow. So any podiums that you would expect tonight will be delayed till tomorrow's event. Thank you. And, whoa, man, I think Ludo found it over Walker. Looks like Richter might have found the 2. Karlberg zooms in for 1. Trying to hold on, but he can't quite do it. Walker will get the 3 points while Ludo Max swoops in for the 5. Our new points totals, they still have our leader as Wilson's. After that, Ludo Max finds himself in a tie for second with Brandon Russell. They both have 9 points. Following that, in fourth place is Richter and Andy Baker with 7 apiece. Following them, we've got Brett Walker and Kenny Williams with 3. Christian Miller with 2, Chris Baker and Andrew Karlberg both with 1. At 8 to go, Blyfoos is going to find his timing. Chip Chase is going to come off the front, and guess who it is? The race leader, Steve Wilson's again, going away from the pack. So Chip Chase, the rider in black and green, is the first rider in that group right now. In the middle is Wilson's, and on the back end is Blyfoos. Both Blyfoos, the rider in third in that group, and the leader of that group currently, who now swings up to the right, neither of them have points. It's only Wilson's, the rider in blue, who's picked up points in the race. He's trying to find more and hold on to this lead as his lead has somewhat shrunk. The lead group of 3, well on their way to being closer to the back end of the pack than the pack is to the back end of the lead group. So they're closing down on it. Bells ringing for the second to last sprint. Chip Chase looking across the track. Yeah, they aren't catching you anytime soon. Are they going to go catch them, or are they going to sit up and maybe fight each other? We'll see how they want to play this. Bit of communication you can hear through turns 1 and 2 as the leaders are trying to figure it out. The pack in the chase at 6 to go. There is a point available to the leader of the pack. So the lead group will be sprinting against each other a bit here as Chip Chase coming through the turn, holding on, as it'll be Wilson's getting the 5, 3 for Chip Chase, 2 for Blyfoos. Out of the field, Baker gets another. Unofficially, it puts Wilson's in the lead still with 17, I believe. Moving down from that, I've got Russell and Max still with 9 apiece, tied for second. Baker moves up to have a total of 8, giving him the lone share of 4th place. Richter sitting at 7 points on his own as well. Following that, I got a couple riders at 3. That's going to be Williams, Walker, and Chip Chase all at 3 apiece. Miller, Blyfoos sitting at 2 apiece. Karlberg and Chris Baker sitting at 1 apiece. Race leaders flying through here at 3 to go. Wilson's, the rider in blue, our race leader. No way he'll lose that position as long as he's with these guys. So So you see the pack is now sitting in between a couple of things going on around them. Most importantly, the largest group on the track is now behind two groups of riders. We've got the lead that's almost 300 meters up on the pack. We got another chasing group that's snapped away that's just about 50 meters up on the track. Here comes the lead group now across the finish line, the front of our race. Behind them by about 150, 200 meters is a chasing group of four, led by Andy Baker, one of our points getters from earlier, and Ludo Max. Those two sitting pretty high in the placings, as is Richter, the third rider in that group. The bell's ringing at 1 to go. It's 10, 6, 4, and 2. Our leaders, three riders looking around. It'll be Wilson's has just got a battery that just never gives up. He's got another attacking him. He's going to try to put the speed on these guys all the way back from corner 2. Bell's ringing for 1 to go. It'll be 10, 6, and 4 for these guys. Look at the speed coming out of turn 4. Our final sprint, and they've all got it in spades. Wilson's put on a show tonight, a real clinic in the points race. Wilson's chip chase will find the 6. 4 points for Blyfoos. We still got a sprint going on for 2 points, and that's going to be coming out of turn 4 just now. Richter at the front of that one. Looks like Baker wants to challenge Richter. And Baker's got his head down. It looks like he's got the speed to finish it for 2. Whoa. That'll do it for the Cat 1-2 men and tonight's program. Again, I want to remind everybody, no podiums tonight. We'll just have our riders clean up, get themselves all ready to go for more fun tomorrow. We'll do some podiums at the end of tomorrow night's program and acknowledge all the work from the weekend. Great finish for our Cat 1-2 men. We are closing down shop. We thank you again so much for taking the time to be here tonight, whether you're a competitor or you're spectating. We really appreciate you being in attendance in our first of 3 sessions. More to come tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Track will be open in the hours before if you want to come and get yourself warmed up. Thank you for tuning in online to our live stream. If you enjoyed yourself, make sure to leave us a thumbs up or repost the video at your leisure. If you didn't enjoy the live stream, let us know why. Leave some feedback. Get an email sent to us. Make a comment in the chat. We'll be sure to follow up on your thoughts. We appreciate your feedback. Beverage Garden's still open. Proceeds in the Beverage Garden, of course, going to support our racing programs here. Don't be shy. Jessica's Unique Bites will be serving just a little bit longer, but make sure you're taken care of tonight. You can even take home, heck, get dinner for tomorrow, take it home, store it. I don't know. It'll be awesome. Why not? Get your midnight cravings dealt with now. Get a basket of fries and an amazing burger before you head home. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, our fantastic team here at the Velodrome for another great evening of racing. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning as we're closing down the stream, and we'll reopen things tomorrow morning as we get into our 10 a.m. session. Thank you again so much for joining. We look forward to seeing you again here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.